January 1st and 2nd, Friday and Saturday, there goes New Year's, and now you're on the computer going, whew, the 31st is always a killer. And then you wake up in the morning with the sun in Capricorn and the moon in Libra, and we know about the squares. It happens 3 times a month, and this is that time when you get to stop and go, oh my, I feel a little hungover. And you know what's happening today? I got to share with you. Saturn is at 11 degrees of Sagittarius. And when I was born, Saturn was at 11 degrees of Sag. So it went all the way around the heavens and it came back to where it was when I was born. We call this Saturn return. But this is my second Saturn return. No, I'm not 28 to 30. No, I'm 58,000 years old, almost turning 60,000 years old, because my second Saturn return is here. And the life lesson of Saturn and Sag is a perfect thing to talk about on January 1st and 2nd on this weekend, because how much did you indulge last night? Did you eat too much? Did you drink too much? Did you party too hard? Who did you kiss? Oopsie. It's all about the day after, isn't it? When you say to yourself, this New Year's, I'm going to make a resolution. Now, finally, I am going to. So here's my Saturn return. And I have the wisdom of having studied astrology forever. And I made a pact with myself that I was going to give myself permission until January, since the end of November, I started this, beginning of November. Deborah, you're going to tone down and focus because you're preparing for Saturn return. And what is Saturn return? And everyone has it. But it's when the destiny line comes in focus and says, now, what exactly are you doing? And you want to be able to say to Saturn, don't get mad. I did the right thing. So if you're between 28 and 30 or 58 and 60, and you're right about that point where you're looking at your chart and you want to call an astrologer, that would be me, you would go to DeborahSilvermanAstrology.com and you'd say, I think I'm having Saturn return. And then you would ask yourself, where could you tone down, discipline, pay attention to the life's call? What does it want you to do? And then answer the call. So I heard the call and it said to me, Deborah, you got to tone it down because my Saturn's in Sag. And can you tell I'm a party? And this moment, the Saturn is in Sagittarius, the sun is in Capricorn, and the moon is in Libra, getting a little bit about relationships. So ultimately, the ultimate relationship in this lifetime is between you and your destiny. And you have to stop and ask on the 1st of January. I make some New Year resolutions and I ask myself, what is it I'm supposed to be doing and how can I refine? How can I step up my game? That's the promise when you're 28 to 30 or 58 to 60. And for everyone making your New Year resolutions, I love this date. Quit smoking, quit drinking, stop having that affair. I'm going to turn myself inside out. I'm going to go exercise. Dun, da, da, da. And then the question is, how long does it last? And that's where you call an astrologer and say, can you help me? Because I need the momentum or the commitment to really stick to my integrity. And it's so easy to slide out of integrity and not care about yourself. So astrologyanswers.com asked me to come here and tell you about astrology. And your job is to ask yourself the deep questions on the 1st of January on this weekend. What am I going to do in order to get myself on task in response to my destiny? So when I finish this planet and I go home, this is my greatest fear. And I get to the council where they're all intergalactic beings sitting around saying, hey, Deb, how'd you do? I can say, my Saturn return came, I responded, I was disciplined, and now I'm watching the fruits of my labor. And that's what happens at 58 to 60. At 28 to 30 is when you gear up to do your destiny. So I'm asking you, how's your Saturn dealing with you? And what's the nature of your relationship with yourself? Brought to you by Deborah Silverman and Astrology Answers. Happy New Year. Hope you're feeling okay.